LSU South Carolina was an awesome game to watch. I would say, look, should South Carolina have won that game because that was not a penalty on Kyle Kennard? Yeah, it really wasn't. And I'm sure LSU fans are going to be pissed at me saying that. But I also think that LSU played well enough that, like, I think LSU should have, like, if they were to play again, I would also take LSU to win and cover. All right, we both took them. Obviously, LSU didn't cover the 7 that we picked this game at. I think it was 6 or 6.5 when the kickoff happened. But yeah, I mean, I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to have that many explosive run plays, like in a game. I'm not sure if they could consistently have that if they were to play LSU again, right? I do think LSU found something in Caden Durham, the true freshman running back. I mean, Josh Williams and Caleb Jackson were not exactly doing it, and Caden Durham looked really good. So that was very nice for LSU. On the opposite spectrum of that, South Carolina's defensive line. We knew they were going to have a battle with this LSU football team, but holy cow, did they cause problems for Garrett Nussmeier?
Yeah.
Problems. I mean, if you're causing problems to LSU's offensive line in the pass protection game, like, I can only imagine what the South Carolina defensive line is going to do to some other teams that are just not ready. That are just not ready in the same way that this LSU offensive line was. Yeah, Garrett Nussmeier. Sure, South Carolina should have won this game on the pick six. I do think Garrett Nussmeier bounced back in the second half. I thought he played really well and did enough for his team to win the football game. Yeah, some penalties hurt South Carolina late. I mean, they had 13 from 123, right? And also 3 turnovers. I know Lenore Sellers got hurt as well. And that offense looked a lot different with Robbie Ashford in the game than with Lenore Sellers. But overall, I don't feel worse about either team. If anything, I'm concerned about LSU's run defense for sure, but I was already pretty concerned about that, not gonna lie. Yeah, I thought South Carolina, their defense, I think proved to everyone this week that they are absolutely for real.
Yes, yes. And quick note on Sellers, it sounds like it's not serious. Now they do have Akron next week and then a bye, and then they get Ole Miss. So they do have time to kind of get settled in. But again, Akron will be a nice game to play for Sellers to be able to develop, his passing game. We've kind of seen it be clunky for 3 weeks now. But again, I said it after last week, and I'll say it again. Nobody in the SEC, especially at the top of the SEC, wants to play South Carolina. I
Nope.
think they scare every single coach. I think most of the teams as well. And if you're a fan bases of Ole Miss, Alabama, Oklahoma, A&M, Missouri, Clemson, you do not want to see them on your schedule. And you're kind of, it's just always there in the back of your mind that you're going to have to play this defensive line. But again, oh man, it was tough. It was frustrating. And I kind of do think if they were to play this game again, and now maybe if Sellers doesn't get hurt, it's a different outcome. But I still like my LSU pick, and
I
I
did
got to
too.
give credit to Brian Kelly and the resiliency he talked about with what they had. Um, but yeah, I still think LSU is just really happy to just go in and get a win. They don't care if they didn't cover or if it wasn't pretty all the time, but they got to win and they can kind of, move past it. Obviously, you're 1-1 against USC's. So actually, yeah, you're 1-1 against USC. So that is what it is. And you get UCLA, who's terrible, and South Alabama,
So
who's not
bad.
great either. And so you get time to kind of settle in before really the meat and potatoes of your schedule does start in October. But yeah, good win, great game, like you mentioned. The SEC, South Carolina put on a show. Game day was there, great atmosphere. Obviously, the product on the field was incredible as well. Yeah, just still waiting for Jared Brown, still waiting for Sellers to get there, and obviously, I I
Playing
kind of
from
chalk up.
behind. Oh, sorry.
No, you go for it. You go for it.
I should say playing from behind is not something that South Carolina is going to be able to do well. But I also think, like, I'm not sold on their run game. I know it was explosive at times in this football game, but being 3 for 12 on third down is not conducive to allowing you to close out a football game,
Yeah.
and they depended on a long run from Loris Sellers, a long run from Rocket Sanders. It was a bummer, yes, that both pick sixes. The first one was a horse collar, all right. I should have gotten called back, but the second one, yeah, it was a bummer that it got called back, right? Because that probably seals the deal for South Carolina. Like, LSU's not going to go down and score twice. So yeah, that was pretty brutal for South Carolina. But look, heads are high Absolutely. Heads are very high. I thought South Carolina played gutsy, just some penalties, turnovers, and maybe passing offense is obviously still an issue, and LSU's receivers are talented. I'm not necessarily down on South Carolina's secondary either. I just thought it was impressive that LSU was able to score, and also they got some nice field positions too. Like South Carolina had a lot of 3-and-outs. There's only so much that Kai Kroger can do as a punter, despite being a good punter. Yeah, it was good game from both of these teams. I'm not selling my stock on either team. In fact, I'm definitely holding my South Carolina stock that I bought early in the season.